Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have a Best Birds card tutorial to share with you for Stamps in the Mail Club. I still have some packets available if you haven't gotten yours. One of the most common questions I get from people is about blender pens. Why did I buy those and what was I supposed to do with them? And I just can't quite remember. So this tutorial will show you how to use your blender pens, either the one you get from your Stamps in the Mail Club or one you maybe have on hand, or one you can order from my online store, to do a very subtle watercolor technique with the Best Birds stamp set. This kind of stamp set's perfect for this technique because it's got just enough detail to want to have a little watercolor or shading, but not so much that it's a lot of pressure to make a whole watercolor masterpiece. So let's get stamping, and I will share some blender pen techniques with you. We'll grab our project kit for this card, which includes the long strip of Bermuda Bay cardstock, and you can set everything else away, your directions and so forth. There are a number of pieces die cut for you already for this. So this is from the Best Birds, the Birds and Blooms die cut set, and it matches the stamp set. The Stitch Shapes framelit, cut the circle here, and then the layering circles framelits are what I use to cut the copper foil scallop circle. Love that copper foil paper. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is grab my cardstock, and I want to go ahead and score this. So I'm going to grab my scoring tool. Oh, I left my markers in the wrong place. Let's scoot this over. That was for a cool project. I'll have to do a video tutorial for that sometime soon. But I'm just going to score this in half at 5.5. Usually I don't bother with scoring my cardstock because I'm kind of a quick stamper. But when I do cards this long direction, then you really want to score your cardstock so that you don't get a messy crease there, because you're folding sort of against the grain of the cardstock. All right, let's get this out of the way. So I have a couple pieces here, and I'm going to start off by grabbing the crosshatch stamp here from my set, and I'm going to use my Bermuda Bay Stampin' Spot, and I've got this scored so I know where it's going to go, but then I'm going to go ahead and fold it flat again so it's not moving the whole time I'm trying to stamp. And underneath it I'm going to place my paper piercing mat so that I have a nice just the right softness of surface so that I get some good contact. Alright, so kind of figure out where this is going to go. You want to use your copper foil circle and figure out kind of where that's going to sit. And then I want actually each of these crosshatch pieces to poke out from behind. And you don't need to worry too much about where these are going to overlap, because the stamp is kind of a messy image. It's kind of a crosshatch cheesecloth thing that makes just a great complement to the birds and so forth. But the crossovers are going to be in the middle, so we're not going to see this messy part. We're only going to see the part that is on the edges. See how that works? So you can make that crosshatch be quite a bit bigger by masking it in the center. Our circle is going to go here, but to do that I want to add some flowers on the edge. So I have this single branch kind of image, and I'm going to grab this and stamp just on the very edges. Now, while it's still a little bit wet, I'm going to grab my blender pen. Blender pens are two-tipped. You get one with your Stamps in the Mail Club kit this month. Usually they come 3 to a package, so you'd actually have 6 tips. And I like to use them to just smear color a lot. And so in this case, we are going to use the ink that's on the paper. It's watercolor or water-based ink. So if I just run over it a little bit with my blender pen, it's going to smear that just a tiny bit and bring some color into the center of our flower. See the difference between those two? Now there's ink on the tip of the blender pen, so I can use that again and smear a little bit more. You don't want to go over and over the paper. The very vanilla cardstock will pill if you go back and forth too long. So I'm not gonna overdo it, but just enough to soften the color a little bit. All right, so now if you weren't going to use the same color again, what I would do is just run the tip of the blender pen out gently so that the color is gone, and then you could go on to the next color. So these are a really cool tool. We're going to do something similar on our bird. So I have the bird die cut here and our matching stamp, and I'm going to stamp him in Bermuda Bay also. It's a good color. And you can use these photopolymer stamps. They're so easy to see through. Usually it's no big deal to get this pretty well lined up here. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp straight down on there so that I have my stamped bird. And then I'm going to grab my blender pen again, and I want the shadow to kind of fall underneath here, underneath his little birdie tummy. So there's all these little speckles that help me know where that's supposed to go. So stay with the speckles because they are giving you the effect of shading, and I'm just going to soften them by going back and forth a little. Okay, so same thing over the tip of his nose, beak, I guess. Oh, do birds have noses? I'm just going to smudge those lines just a little bit, and then on the wings. And on the wings, I'm going to go in line with the feathers. When you're doing things in nature, leaves or feathers or fur or things, you always want to stroke with the grain of the feathers. If you go sideways to it or just kind of randomly, the stroke lines will be a little bit off. They'll just, I don't know, they just bother you a little bit. So remember when you're doing natural patterns or organic patterns that you're going in the line of the pattern, the way the feathers grow, the way the leaves grow, that kind of thing. Okay, so there's our little bird. He needs a little poke out of the middle here, his extra little piece. There we go. So we have our bird and our circle, and we're going to layer them together with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And so I'll grab one of these and stick him on the back. Or her, I don't know if Stampin' Dimensionals have a gender. Okay, there we go. And then we have a little strip here that we're going to do our greeting for. And again, I'm going to use my Bermuda Bay Stampin' Spot, and your Stampin' Spots come with your Stamps in the Mail Club kit, so those are included. You'll have the inks you need to do the projects just like I'm showing. If you already have the ink colors though, you can pick something else to get with your kit, some other product instead. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this little piece here as a banner. Okay, so now I have my thoughts for you, and then we just need to start our assembly. So grab my card back here. I have a piece of the new Lemon Lime Twist Designer Series paper. I love this thing. So I'm just going to clip a corner off. I love this color. It debuts officially on June 1st of 2017. If you have the Eastern Palace bundle, or you've ordered that from my store, you still can if you don't have it yet. That is available. The Lemon Lime Twist ink color is available inside of that. So, and otherwise you have to wait till June 1st. Or be a demonstrator. You could always sign up as a demonstrator and get your ink colors right away. So this is the Bermuda Bay striped ribbon. And then I'm going to start layering my pieces here with Stampin' Dimensional. So I love to use the edges of my Stampin' Dimensionals when I have larger pieces. And so I'm going to flip this over and lay this here and layer that right there in the center. There's such a good, nice, perfect fit there. And then I'll use a Stampin' Dimensional here again. Sometimes I like to stack my Stampin' Dimensionals, so this one I want to be just a little bit taller. It's already raised here, so I'm going to peel the backing off and put a double Stampin' Dimensional there. See how that works? And layer this here. So there we have our finished bird card. So some secrets for using your blender pens and a sneak peek at one of the new in colors. So thank you so much for watching my Stamps and Mail Club projects, and I hope you, if you have comments or questions about Stamps and Mail Club or my videos, definitely leave me a note. So happy stamping!